Marcelo Odebrecht was a scion of Brazil's construction dynasty, heir to an empire that built highways, ports, and petrochemical plants across Latin America. By the 2000s, his company, Odebrecht, symbolized modern Brazilian ambition, massive contracts, political access, and an ability to bend public infrastructure into private profit. But beneath the concrete lay a carefully engineered system of corruption, a conspiracy that would ripple from Brasilia to Lima to Bogota, shattering reputations and rewriting national politics. This is the story of how a corporate machine became a transnational bribery network. The scene began with a simple fact. Governments control huge public contracts, and Odebrecht had the know-how to deliver mega projects. To win them, executives created a parallel apparatus, a clandestine department, euphemistically called the Department of Structured Operations, a web of shell companies, offshore accounts, and coded ledgers. Internal systems with names like Drowsy's recorded payments with aliases and cryptic codes. Money flowed through Swiss banks and anonymous firms, then into the hands of politicians, party coffers, and intermediaries. Contracts followed. The conspiracy was not the work of a lone rogue. It was industrialized graft. Engineers, accountants, and lawyers perfected a playbook. Identify the contract, cultivate the official, create a payment channel, conceal the trail. Bribes earn contracts. Contract produced profits. Profits funded more influence. The scale was vast. Tens of millions in small installments and multi-million-dollar transfers that, together, tilted the balance in dozens of elections and procurement decisions across the continent. The exposure began unexpectedly in a probe that had nothing to do with Odebrecht at first. What started in 2014 as an investigation into money laundering at Brazil's state oil company, Petrobras, unfolded into Operação Lava Jato, Operation Car Wash, and investigators discovered breadcrumbs leading straight into Odebrecht's secret ledgers. By 2015, federal police arrested Marcelo Odebrecht. What followed was a cascade of confessions. In late 2016, Odebrecht and its petrochemical sister company, Braskem, signed historic leniency agreements with prosecutors in Brazil, Switzerland, and the United States. The company admitted to a decade and more of systematic bribery across multiple countries and agreed to pay billions in fines. Executives cut plea deals. Internal files, lists of projects, coded names, dates, and payments, became prosecutorial maps. The Drowsy system and the Department of Structured Operations were laid bare. The political fallout was seismic. Dozens of politicians and officials across South America were implicated. Ministers resigned, parties scrambled, and several former presidents found themselves under investigation or facing extradition requests. In Peru and elsewhere, the revelations fed inquiries that toppled careers and, in some cases, ended lives. Entire legal systems engaged in painful reckonings. How to separate legitimate consulting and contracting from systematic capture of the state. But the conspiracy's unraveling also exposed limitations. Leniency deals traded company admissions for reduced penalties. Prosecutors relied on corporate insiders whose testimony was contested. And in many countries, convictions proved slow, incomplete, or politically fraught. In Brazil, Lava Jato prosecutors became national actors, lauded by some as anti-corruption heroes, and criticized by others for overreach. The public was left to assess whether justice had been served. At its core, the Odebrecht saga was a lesson in how corruption can be engineered, not by chance, but by design. It showed that modern graft uses accountants and servers as readily as suitcases of cash, and that a multinational company can institutionalize bribery and make it routine. It also demonstrated the reach of transnational investigations, that wire transfers, encrypted logs, and small talk in boardrooms can be traced across borders. Years on, some executives went to prison, the company paid massive fines, and lawmakers passed reforms. Yet the story endures because it forced a continent to confront a bitter truth. Infrastructure and democracy are vulnerable when the machinery of the state can be purchased. The documents remain, the names remain, and the concrete still stands, built atop a scandal that will be studied for decades as a blueprint of corruption and a cautionary tale of what happens when public power is treated like a marketable asset.